Roll call.
Okay, Mayor Westgard.
Yep.
Waltman.
Yes.
Cleveland.
Here.
Reese.
Here.
Huss. Thank you.
Here.
We don't do public forum.
No.
Ted, we're up. Yep.
Leave that there.
I guess I'll start. I have two questions. The first one is, what would you change about your job?
Would I change about my job or the next person's
But-
job?
but both.
What would I change about it? How about in 2 words? Honest and integrity.
What would you improve to make our workplace better?
What would I approve?
Now, what would you improve?
I would improve allowing the chief of police to run the police department. Hopefully the new chief is able to do that.
Any of the councilmen have any questions?
I've never been in one of these, so.
We didn't think it was gonna take very long.
Just as talk about the future, Ted, I mean, is there anything that the department needs, you know, in order to be successful in equipment, anything like that?
I don't necessarily think that the equipment is really an issue. Of course, there's things everybody wants.
Well, that was my next question, is if price was no object, what,
You went through that.
We need to have a lot of things that we'd like to have.
what future needs generally, okay?
But I mean, that's always an issue when you're in a smaller town or a smaller police department. There's always an issue of what you can afford and what you can get by on and things like that. And especially nowadays where everything is changing, where it's not going to be long, you won't even need an ink pen, but, you know, the technology and things like that are changing, and we're going to have to be able to change with the time. So yeah, as far as equipment, things are going to be changing, and you're going to need to spend more all the time.
You just want to update the council a little bit on body cameras and where we're at on that.
The body cameras, we have one now that, actually, Michelle is here. We have one right now, and our intention is in July or the next budgeting to purchase the other 3. We're hoping to be able to get some assistance, some grant money through Diane Berry. So hopefully we'll be able to get some help on that. But we do have one that's going now. After about 2 months. And actually, them are small enough or mobile enough to where right now they can change that. Whoever's on can wear it. So it's not necessarily that it's attached to one person. It can be moved. So we'll be able to get by with that for now.
And this is tied into your car system?
Yes, it's started tied in with the system that we have in the car, so we didn't need any other software or anything like that in order to download it or view it.
This records video and audio.
Correct.
So like, you said you would like to be the boss or head of your department. What, I thought you are the head or whatever.
I used to be.
Okay, let me, on that same thing, you said the improvement allow chief to run the police department. I guess I'd like some explanation on allow police chief to run the department. What, I guess what's wrong there, and what would you do to improve it
I think the main
if you were able to run it the way you wanted to?
I think the main thing that needs to be changed is just the communication, rather than things being said behind their backs or walking over when there's something that is out there and they've heard this or heard that. For the last year and a half, I've had to walk around not knowing who has my back and who don't, and I still don't know who does and who don't. I was to the point where I just wasn't comfortable just for the fact of that. If I knew the answers to that, I would have had another 5 years here. And the people that it really hurt is my officers, just for the fact that that's been happening. And in law enforcement nowadays, things are changing fast anyway, and changing for the worse. So if you can't depend on the people that you need to depend on having your back, not only that, if in your mind you feel not only they'd throw you under the bus if they had a chance, they'd hire a driver, that's the way I feel. So and I'm hoping the next person that comes in doesn't have to deal with it, whether it be Roy. And to be honest with you, John was there when I told him. I told Royce, you apply for that job, you're nuts. You're better off staying where you're at. So, but that's just my opinion.
How's that gonna change?
Well, I think the only way it's going to change is, first of all, whoever the chief, whether it's Royce or whoever it is, if there's a problem or somebody comes to you with something, you need to come to that person instead of going to somebody else. We shouldn't have to hear it from somebody else. And I know all the council, everybody here knows this all happened a year and a half ago or whatever, and I still haven't had any answers till today. And I still would have stayed a little bit longer, but you know, I had an opportunity and
Sounds like a
didn't
good
want
one,
to pass
too.
up the opportunity. And one of the things what I was told when I made that decision, and it was by one of the council members, that you know, you're letting them win. I said, well, no, not necessarily. I'm not letting anybody win because, first of all, I need to look out for myself and my family. I've got an 8-year-old at home, so just not willing to put up with it anymore. So I put enough time in, so hopefully, like I said, hopefully everybody has learned something from this, and hopefully, like I said, whether it's Royce or whoever it is, whoever comes in and takes this over, first of all, you got to start working with them and not second guessing everything they do, and everybody has hindsight and want to think they know what they should or shouldn't do. But I guess the easiest way I can put it is, if you have zero experience in law enforcement, you don't know what you're talking about, at least you need to go and talk to him if you have that. Whoever it is, him or her or whoever it is. You've got to have enough faith in that person that you can go talk to them, and hopefully whatever it is can get worked out. But like I said, I still, as today, I don't know who has my back and who don't. So.
Is there anything you would change in the law enforcement aspect of your job that could
Yeah.
use improvement, or,
You know,
I mean,
we all are all up against the same thing as far as our court system. Law enforcement, the criminals have more rights than what we do. And everybody is looking, and that gets back to your body cameras. They're getting very important now just for the fact that any minute something can happen. And they're going to try to do whatever they can to find out what we did wrong, not what they did wrong. And I mean, you can see that in the news now, where law enforcement right now is a scary place to be. And the problem that we have as a small police department is, first of all, it's hard to get good applicants. When you do get applicants in law enforcement, most jobs that you have is nowhere comparable to law enforcement. Once you're a certified police officer, if you get torqued at something, you can go pretty much where you want to. There's too many opportunities. The problem that we have, not only in Lakeview, I know I hear this all the time, there's a revolving door. Well, there's really not a revolving door here any more than there is anywhere else. The problem that we have now is we have a generation that it's a lot easier to quit, move somewhere else than it is to stick with what you got. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. These young kids If you offer them $1 an hour more, they don't care if you have insurance or what you have. They don't look at that. I'm 22, 23 years old, I don't need insurance. You offer them $1 an hour more, they're gone. Look at the sheriff's department, they're having the same problem. The younger guys just aren't staying more, and you can have a 20-year contract. You just as well not throw your contracts out because they're not, if they're offered $1 an hour, they're going, they're leaving. And you can look at the 3 guys, since I've had the 2 officers that retired that I had here, we've had 3 guys that leave. And the thing that I tried to explain to them, and I mean, I talked to them for a couple hours. First of all, you're not ready for the next step. You need to get your 2 years in a smaller department. And he gets back to, you know what, they're offering me $5 an hour, I'm leaving. I said, well, good luck. Right now, 2 of them are completely out of law enforcement. There's one that's been gone a month. I hope he hangs on. He's a hell of a good kid. But it's just the idea, if you're not ready, you're not ready. But I'm telling you, you cannot get that through. And we can go to, I've heard it before, well, let's see what other towns our size are paying. It doesn't work anymore. These guys are looking, and I don't care if it's within the county or where it's at. When somebody comes and offers them a couple dollars, they're leaving. They're going. And it's not only in law enforcement, it's everywhere. We just got a generation of kids that, I don't want to say it's lazy, but it's just hard to keep employees anymore, and it's hard to get good ones. And like I said, when they're 22, 23 years old, and they've got not only a degree, but once they're certified in law enforcement. Well, the first one that left us, he graduated from the academy on Friday afternoon. He knew he was leaving because there's another police department there saying, not only we'll take you now, you're certified, we'll pay our contract. We'll pay that off for you. So there's no way that we can compete with people. And even if we wanted to, we can't compete with them bigger. And the bigger departments know that. I've had this discussion at the academy with other sheriffs and chiefs of police. And they pretty much tell us exactly how it is. You know, we're going to do it whether you like it or not. Mm-hmm. Because there's probably not too many chiefs out there or too many sheriffs out there that would do what I would do. But I'm guaranteeing you right now, if I had a guy that come in and applied for a job for me, whether he was certified or not, if he's under a contract to another police department, I wouldn't even consider him. Just for the fact that I don't believe in it. If you can't honor your commitment to somebody, you're not worth having. And that's just my opinion. But it's really hard to keep them, and it's going to stay that way.
It's pretty competitive about everything. From
That's what I mean, even all the workforce is that way. This last summer I did a lot of security work, and I went to different states. They all tell me the same thing. It's so hard not only to get good employees, but to get honest employees. Mm-hmm. But you can put somebody to work, and 15 minutes after, you know what they're asking? What time to break?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way it is. But I'm telling you, when they offer them the money, they're leaving. So there's not a whole lot we can do about that. And then I understand that smaller departments cannot compete with the bigger. We're never going to be able to compete with them. But I mean, you can put it in your mind that they're leaving for the fancy equipment and all this stuff. I'm telling you, they're leaving for $1, and that's why they're leaving. Sheriff's Department's got some really good equipment. They got good money. Can't keep them either. It's just hard to keep the young guys. They have the same problem. Just so happens that when they lose them, they grab them from us. You know, but I mean, you can't blame them. Especially here, because, you know, not only that, they can hire them knowing I'm going to get a little better extra, well, actually $5 an hour more, and I don't have to move. I can stay right where I'm at. Mm-hmm. But more times than not, they're not going to be there in a couple of years anyway. They'll be gone. So hopefully still in law enforcement, but not a good chance that they will be. The record hasn't been so well anyway, so.
Thank you for your honesty.
But I really do. I just hope that everybody's learned from this. And I had a real good opportunity that I couldn't pass up, so it worked. I guess everything works out for the best anyway. So.
That's in Cherokee you're going to be based out of?
Yeah.
I remember when that place was built and then added on to.
No.
Anybody else?
I've never heard any complaints about those.
I haven't either. I guess I don't know what went on a year and a half ago.
I would tell everybody for the last 8 years, we've cleaned up a lot of stuff in town, and Ted made it work.
Yeah,
Absolutely made it work.
Craig got a little more, yeah.
Yeah, well, we got a few more, but we find it every day. If anything else, I thank you for your
Get
service,
that
Ted.
done before you leave.
You got a busy week ahead of you.
I really don't have to be as nice as I used to be.
No, no.
I'm getting a lot closer to not having to be politically correct anymore.
Is that right?
Yeah. That might be a bad
Oh,
thing.
boy.
Yeah, I get talking to from HR once in a while.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Have you got-
Thank you.
Just a reminder to council and to everybody, reception, a retirement reception for Ted. Okay, it is a week from Friday.
Week from Friday.
Okay, 2 to 4
Yep,
at the Speaker Park Shelter House.
yep.
Coffee and cookies and stuff, and the public is certainly invited.
That's this Friday,
20th.
Week from
20th.
I ain't there, Ted, I'm,
Where's warmer?
Take
Well,
the
maybe-
good weather with you, right?
yeah, I hope so.
Well, if you have nothing else, Ted, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, Ted.
Sure appreciate
You
it.
bet. Okay, motion to adjourn,
I'll make that motion.
second?
I'll second it.
Second.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.